Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to John42002 Wrestling Blogs, and I am back with a predictions video. It has been a long time, but I've done the predictions blog, so I decided why not do the predictions video to go alongside it. It has been a little while, but we're bringing it back, and we're bringing it back in style because it is for All Elite Wrestling's All Out show. Ladies and gentlemen, this is probably going to be, and I think it will be, All Elite Wrestling's biggest pay-per-view to date. I'm really looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be a fantastic pay-per-view. So much has happened in the build-up this week, and we'll get into that in a moment. Let's get into the matches, the match card, and let's talk about who I think is going to come out victorious at All Elite Wrestling's All Out. So, ladies and gentlemen, our first match is on the buy-in show, and it is between the tag teams of Private Party and Helicon and Jack Evans. I like Private Party. I like their presence. They're new, they're dynamic, they're different. There's something that I'd never seen before. Tag team I'd not known before. They've come in and they've really established themselves extremely well within All Elite Wrestling. On the flip side of that coin, you've got the experience of Helicon and Evans, who have been all over the world. They've teamed together before. You've seen their double team manoeuvres, the way they work together in the ring. They are utterly fantastic. This is going to be high flying. It's going to be insanity. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. For me, though, I think personally the winners of this match are going to be Helicon and Jack Evans. I just think their experience is going to give them the edge, and they're going to come out on top on the first match on the buy-in for All Elite Wrestling's All Out. The second match on the buy-in is the Casino Battle Royal for a shot at the women's AEW title. Now, we don't have all the participants for this at the moment. I think there's only been 10 announced. Also, All Elite Wrestling announced on the road to All Out video series some other participants that would be entering that Casino Battle Royal. They named Ivelisse, they named Jazz, they named Till Piper, the daughter of Rowdy Roddy Piper, amongst others that are going to be coming in and will be in this Casino Battle Royal. Now, at this time when I'm recording this, Azure Kong and Awesome Kong, that match hasn't been announced yet. So it's difficult to predict, because if they're in there, it's got to be one of those two. However, I'm basing it on the fact they probably won't be in there and they will have their own match. So for me, I think this is going to be another Brandy Rhodes win. I just think Brandy Rhodes is going to pull this out and somehow squirm her way and get into that women's all-out Battle Royal win, and then into the title match come TNT TV or whenever they decide to do that women's title match. So for me, it will be the Chief Brandy Officer, Brandy Rhodes. And then we get into the show itself. So the first match I want to talk about here is SCU comprising of Daniels, Kazarian and Scorpio Sky, going up against the team of Marco Stunt, Jungle Boy and of course Luchasaurus. Fantastic trios match in prospect here. SCU, we know what they're all about, we know how good they are, we know the experience of Kazarian, of Daniels and the ability of Scorpio Sky. We know those three can work together well no matter what, and we've seen the fantastic charisma that Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt have together. They're fun and they're just a great part of the AEW show, and I like the dynamic that they bring. Luchasaurus is very different. He's tall, he's bigger. You've got Marco, who's very small, and it's hilarious when you've got all three of them on Luchasaurus' shoulders. So you've got Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and then Marco Stunt. I thought it was absolutely fantastic, and they're just been, again, another one of those teams that have just hit so well for AEW. For me, I actually think this is going to be a win for Marco Stunt, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, which some people say is quite a big upset, but I think they're coming together well, and I think a win over an established team like SCU would do wonders for them. I don't think it would hurt SCU. I think SCU can come back from that, and I think it would be a really, really good, positive step forward for SCU. To be able to put over a younger team and be able to elevate that younger team up further. So I'm actually going for what some people say is a surprise here, but I would like to see the winners of the match being Marco Stunt, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Going into the third match that I'm going to talk about here, and it's a women's singles match with Rio versus Hikaru Shida. Now, I don't know much about the Joshi women. I'm not going to pretend that I do. I have only seen them, Rio I've only seen in AEW, and what I've seen of her, she's been very charismatic, extremely good in the ring, and again, just another personality the fans are really drawn to. And I think she's been a real standout of that Joshi division. In saying that though, I have actually seen Hikaru Shida. Obviously we've seen her at the AEW previous events. However, I actually saw her quite a few years ago wrestling in England, and I've got to say she is a fantastic talent. She's obviously got better since I saw her, and I actually feel that she could be one of the main cornerstones of the AEW Women's Division. I just think there's such huge upside to her. She's young, she's vibrant, she's energetic. She's just got presence about her, Hikaru Shida, and I just think she's going to be a huge, huge star in the pro wrestling world. With that being said, I'm going to go with her for my winner of this match. I think Hikaru Shida's going to win this match. And then you've got to say, would that then put them in title contention? They might be, I don't know. Would that then put them into a title match? Maybe would, if Aja Kong and Awesome Kong had their match, would it end up being a women's three-way? We don't know. I'm just throwing different things out there. But for me, I don't think it's a bad thing to have Hikaru Shida establish herself here and start to build Hikaru Shida in All Elite Wrestling. So this next match is something that I really want to talk about because I really do think these three guys are fantastic. It's a triple threat match with Jimmy Havoc versus Darby Allin versus Joey Janela. Now, I say it with a smile on my face because I like all three of these guys. I think Darby Allin I've not known much of. I've seen him a little bit throughout independent wrestling. I've seen bits and pieces, but he really establishes himself to me when he faced Cody. I think he had a standout performance, even though it went to a draw. I think it really, really established Darby Allin. I like the backstory to him. I like the character. I dig it. There's just something so cool about him, and I can't put my finger on it, but I just think he's just such a special talent, and he's going to be an even more special talent, I think, as we go forward. Jimmy Havoc is somebody I know well from the UK scene. I've seen him at Strike Wrestling versus Josh Bodum. I've seen him at Progress shows, tagging with Mark Haskins. I've seen him do singles matches. I saw him do a death match with Drew Parker. And I've seen Jimmy Havoc do different things. I think one of the things I think that comes from the UK a lot is, oh, Jimmy Havoc can only do hardcore matches. No. Bollocks. He can do a lot more than that, and he can wrestle when he wants to, but it's up to Jimmy Havoc whether he wants to wrestle or not. It's up to him what style he wants to wrestle. Jimmy Havoc is, to me, a fantastic British wrestler, and I'm so glad that Jimmy has got an opportunity in AEW to show the world that not only is he a fantastic hardcore wrestler, but he can be a fantastic wrestler and define the word wrestler any way he wants to define it. And Joey Janela, again, not somebody I was exposed to too much. I did a lot of research on him before the show, the first show that they did, and he is just insanity. Going off of ladders, going off of buildings, going through tables. And this, Joey Janela said in a promo as well that this match means everything to him because he's 2-0. And he needs to win, he needs to establish himself, he needs to get, wins and losses matter, he needs to get on that winning ladder. So it's very, very interesting from Joey Janela's perspective that he's so frustrated that he hasn't won a match yet, and he's trying to use that as his motivation to win at All Out. So who do I think is going to win this triple threat match? Honestly, I have no idea. I really, really don't. It's so hard to pick. It's so hard to pick. But for me, I think it needs to be Jimmy Havoc. I think Jimmy Havoc has done a lot in AEW so far. He's been to me a very entertaining part of it, especially in the Battle Royal on the first show. And I think Jimmy Havoc would be most benefited by winning here. So I'm going to say Jimmy Havoc to win the match, and possibly pinning Joey Janela, because I want to see Joey Janela go on a bit more, maybe get a bit more insane, and Janela have this thing where he's got to keep going or has to go to an extreme to win a match. I think it would be very, very clever storyline. So for me, winner of the triple threat, Jimmy Havoc. Next match I want to talk about is something that actually I wasn't gonna buy All Out for. It wasn't something that really caught my imagination, but it has been one of the best built matches I can think of in recent years, and I'm talking about Cody versus Shawn Spears. Now, until the chair shot, if you said to me like Shawn Spears versus Cody, I wasn't that invested in it. I've got to say, I like both performers, but I really wasn't that invested. And then they do the road to All Out, and they do the interview with Shawn Spears. Jim Ross does his interview with Shawn Spears. Tully Blanchard then turns up. And from that, they just add layer upon layer upon layer. Brandy Rhodes does a promo against Shawn Spears. They have the Shawn Spears and Cody contract signing where Tully says, I will be in Shawn's corner, but you can only have one person in your corner. And it's left up in the air at the moment as to who's going to be in Cody's corner. Is it going to be Brandy? Is it going to be Dustin Rhodes? And what's going to happen in that match? Is that person going to help Cody? Are they going to turn on Cody? We just don't know. And I just think it's so smart, the way that they've built this, and they've made me care about this match, because actually this is now something I really, really want to see, because I want to see Shawn Spears and what he does, I want to see Cody and what he does, and I want to see the conclusion to their match. So I think this has been fantastic, because AEW have just built this so well. They've taken a match that, like I said, I didn't have much interest in, and now they've really made me invest in it and really want to see what happens. What do I think is going to happen? I think this is going to be a win for Shawn Spears. I just think the way that they've, like I said, built Shawn Spears, the way that they put together the promos and everything that's happened, I think Shawn Spears is going to beat Cody here. Whether it's from help from Tully Blanchard, whether it's underhand tactics, whatever it is, my feeling is that the winner is going to be Shawn Spears, and maybe this thing carries on as they go into AEW TV. And it goes on a bit further until Cody gets his revenge. So, the next match on from that is one that I've actually wanted to talk about earlier. It was another tag team match. It was actually the Dark Order versus the Best Friends. Now, I really like the Best Friends. I've seen them in New Japan, sorry, I was going to say All Japan there. I've seen them in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they were an interesting tag team to me. It's been even better seeing them in AEW, the way they interact with each other, their entrance video. They've been another team that have just caught the imagination of people, and it's been really cool to see their dynamic and how they develop. And again, they used the road to All Out really, really well by doing a segment on them and trying to give people insight into Chucky T and Trent Barretta, and just trying to build them up more. So I think that was really, really, again, another clever thing that they've done. However, the Dark Order, they have been pushed hard since the moment they arrived. They were the Super Smash Brothers, obviously trademarked, so they're now the Dark Order, and they came in at All In, and them and their minions have taken over ever since. They attack who they want. I like the minions, I like the thing with the throne, and I like the way the Dark Order wrestle. They, again, I use this word a lot, but a lot of these teams are very unique in their offense, the way that they go about a match, the way that they wrestle a match, and Dark Order have a very unique way of doing things. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see which team's going to come out on top here. For me, I think personally the role for the Dark Order is going to keep going, and I think that the Dark Order are going to win this match, and then going to put them in a good position for the tag team tournament coming up on AEW TV on TNT. Now, heading on to our next match, I want to talk about this one. Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks ladder match for the AAA Tag Team titles. Now, this is huge. These teams have been going at each other ever since press conference back when AEW started. I think it was back in February. I think it was like their second press conference. They have just been all out against each other. The first match in AEW was amazing. The trios match they had against them Fyter Fest was even to me was actually even better, because you got to see a lot more interaction between the teams, and you got to see the Lucha brothers really, you could feel more that after their first loss. You could just feel it more from them. I think that's what I was looking for there. And now them challenging the Young Bucks to a ladder match. Now this should be the final blow off. Which team is better? I mean, we know what the Young Bucks can do with the ladder. They are incredible. We know they're tremendous. We know what Nick Jackson can do. We know what Matt Jackson can do. If you don't, go and watch Hardys versus Young Bucks from Ring of Honor. Go and watch that, or Ladder Wars. Go and watch those, because then you'll see what the Young Bucks do with the ladder. And trust me, it's extremely impressive. Pentagon and Phoenix are an extremely impressive tag team themselves, and as Matt Jackson said, they are brothers. And the Lucha brothers are also real life brothers as well, so they're very even to each team going into this. But for me, I think the winners of this match are going to be the Young Bucks. I just think that with their experience in terms of ladder matches, what they've been through with teams like the Hardys previously, and the way that they, to me, just seem to be able to work better, I feel, as a tandem in the ring, and most people will dispute that, but I think Young Bucks will come out of this the new AAA Tag Team Champions. But it's going to be a very, very, very difficult match for them to win, and I would not be surprised to see if it went the other way, but my heart tells me the winners of this match are going to be the Young Bucks. Our next match is one that originally was something else, and now is something different. It was meant to be Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley, formerly Dean Ambrose in WWE. However, Jon Moxley got a MRSA infection in his elbow, is unable to compete, has to have an operation, and will not be competing at All Out, replacing him none other than Pac. Now, I thought this was great. I actually called it might be Dustin Rhodes who came in here to face Kenny Omega as a different attraction. However, they've contacted Pac, they've brought him back in, and I think it's fantastic. Omega and Pac is a massive attraction, and it was just the right match you needed. It was the perfect replacement. He was just the right guy at the right time. And this gives Pac an opportunity to debut in AEW after everything that happened before. I don't know what happened before, and to be honest with you, it doesn't matter what happened before. What matters is now, and this could actually catapult Pac, if he wins, possibly into being a number one contender, possibly. For the AEW World Championship. If Kenny Omega wins, I might catapult him into that position. So there's a lot on the line here, especially for a debutant to come in against Kenny Omega, who many view as the best wrestler in the world right now. And there's a lot for Pac here. It's a massive upside. Massive upside. And for Kenny Omega, you saw Kenny Omega's promo on Road to All Out. Being the Elite. Beg your pardon. There was a fantastic promo by Kenny on the Road to All Out about Jon Moxley, and he was not happy. And I don't blame him for not being happy. He was extremely annoyed about Jon Moxley not being in the match, and now he faces a different challenge, a completely different challenge to Moxley in the form of Pac. The question is, can Kenny Omega overcome it? Can the preparation that he's done for Jon Moxley, can he transfer that across to Pac? Can he use what he's done and transfer everything that he has been doing, his training, everything that he had been preparing for? Because they're two very different athletes. Pac's going to be more taken to the edge, going to be more aerial assault. He's going to be more high octane, more high flying, and it's going to be a bigger a cardio training for Kenny Omega than maybe he was expecting. With Jon Moxley can go in the ring, but Jon Moxley maybe not as much high flying and a bit more of a brawler. So it's going to be interesting. The styles are very, very similar between Pac and Omega, to see who comes out on top in this one. I'm so undecided. I really don't know. I flip backwards and forwards between them, but again, I'm going to go with my heart, and that says my heart tells me it's going to be Kenny Omega. I'm a huge Kenny Omega fan anyway. I just think it makes the most sense, and I think Kenny Omega then can then challenge whoever wins out of our next match coming up. And our final match is the main event match. It is for the AEW World title. It pits Hangman Page versus the legend Chris Jericho. What do you say? I mean, Hangman is a stud. He is the #1 contender. He is going to be AEW's future star. You can see it. He is just primed and ready to become that next or that first huge star that AEW create and bring from the ground up. You could see in his interview, again, I refer back to the Road to All Out because it is so good, that interview with Jim Ross, where he was so adamant that he would do anything to win. He said to Jim Ross, I will do anything to win this match. And he, from his perspective, if he doesn't win this match, he goes to the back of the line, he may never get another opportunity. So it means everything to Hangman Page. And you could see it in his eyes when he was talking about his family being there and not wanting to go back to the tobacco farm empty-handed. So it was a very, very passionate promo from Adam Page and a very well done interview from Jim Ross. On the flip side of that coin, in the episode following, we saw an interview from Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho said he needs to keep the legend of Chris Jericho alive. Jericho is obsessed with winning the AEW World title. He has to be the first one. He has to be the guy that is the first champion. Everybody can give him a thank you that he says he deserves, and he can be the man when they enter television. Chris Jericho was adamant that although Adam Page is good, he is even better. So Chris Jericho is looking to write himself into the history books and to become one of the greatest of all time. That is Jericho's aim, and he's stopping at nothing to get it. Again, this is another one of those matches where you look at it and say, is it going to be experience? Is it going to be youth? Is it going to be a guy that is a legend that knows wrestling inside or out? Or is it going to be a guy that's grabbing wrestling by the throat and is creating a name for himself and is going to be one of the top stars in this business? Again, it is so hard. It is so hard to pick a winner. But this is what's great about AEW wrestling, is that I'm doing these predictions and I'm picking them and I'm going, who's going to win? Like, who's going to win this? Who's going to win that? And I don't know. And it's so difficult to pick a winner. I think the winner of this match is going to be Hangman Adam Page. I don't think Chris Jericho losing is going to hurt Chris Jericho. I think Chris Jericho can make a brand new start in Adam Page, and Adam Page becomes the poster boy for what AEW are trying to achieve, which is new, fresh, different. They said themselves, they're not there to compete with WWE. They don't want to compete with WWE. They want to do their own thing, want to create their own product, and they want to change the world in their way. It's not about competing, and I think Adam Page becoming AEW World Champion backs up that statement to me. I think both in the ring and out of the ring, I think it backs up the statement that what they're going for. It backs up the statement that they are trying to change the world. They are trying to do something different. They're not trying to go down the established path and do the established things. Do what other companies have done previously. I really think Adam Page would be a huge, huge statement, and I really feel that Adam Page would lead the company well, and I think would have good matches with challengers, and I think it would just be the right thing. It just feels to me the right thing. So for me, new AEW World Heavyweight Champion Adam Page. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching my prediction video. I finally brought it back. It had to be done, and I couldn't think of a better place to do it, or better reason to do it than All Elite Wrestling's All Out. Thank you so much for watching. You can follow me on Twitter at John42202. That's JON422002. You can follow me on Facebook as well at John's Wrestling Blogs. And by all means, please click the subscribe button, please click the notifications so you see when the next video comes up. I'm hopefully going to be posting a lot more as we go forward. And please keep your eyes open, and thank you just from me for all your support, all your continued support, and thank you again for watching. See you all again very soon.